ones who bring the hype round. Bring the hype round.
Hello everyone, today I'll be showing you a decently cheap sharpshooter heavy melee build, which is extremely fun and very reliable for all types of content in the game. For those who don't know, heavy melee means we do not care about our attack speed and only stack raw melee damage. And in the case of a sharpshooter archer, that means we will also be utilizing Twain's arc, an ability in the sharpshooter tree that buffs melee damage by quite a lot. The premise of this build is, you build up focus to 2, which is quite an easy task using Initiator, an ability that allows us to gain an extra focus once we haven't attacked in a small while. Then you shift and use Twain's Arc to do insane bursts of damage. I do want to note that Twain's Arc acts as a melee attack, which means it charges your weapon's powder special. You can't use Twain's Arc when your special is charged, so use it as soon as possible. Speaking of the special powder ability, sometimes you need to save it to take out hordes of enemies, so just be wary of that. Some ways to build up your focus from 0 is either using Arrow Bomb or Arrow Storm. Arrow Bomb's Fire Creep ability builds a focus quite nicely, and Pyrophyte Roots does the same but works better on stationary targets. For our weapon, we will be using Plague, which is a very solid choice for heavy melee. It can be obtained from the Corrupted Sandswept Tomb dungeon for 6 tokens. And it already has built-in super slow speed. The base damage is Fire and Thunder, so we will powder it with 4 tier 6 Thunder powders to get the most out of it. It also has some nice lifesteal and mana steal to go along with it, so overall a very solid option. For the helmet, we will be using Darksteel Full Hell. It gives a total of 30 skill points, which is very nice. A lot of raw melee damage, which is one of the most important stats on all armor pieces for this build. I recommend you try to get as most raw damage as you can on all armor pieces. For the chestplate, we use Taurus, 10 strength and a nice bonus to melee damage. For the leggings, we use Struggle. It gives 10 dexterity and also a lot of raw melee damage, and bonuses to melee and thunder damage. Now, for the boots, you have 2 options. The much cheaper option is Blind Thrust, and the slightly more expensive one is Dawnbreak. I suggest you get Dawnbreak. It's overall not that expensive. I think right now most Dawnbreaks are like 20 LE maybe. Point being, it's decently cheap, but a very budget alternative would be Blind Thrust, and it works really well either way. Dawnbreak is just a straight upgrade to it. Side note for this build, you should powder all your armor with water powders, because the water defense is quite far down in the negatives, and you will barely get any benefit out of thunder or fire powders either way, so might as well patch out the elemental defense. Now, for the accessories, the rings you have 2 options, either Darksteel rings for the 9 skill points and some extra health, or you can use a crafted ring that gives an absurd amount of melee percent. Obviously, the crafted rings give more damage, but I personally prefer the Darksteel rings. For the bracelet, we use Momentum, which also gives us 9 skill points like the rings, and has the highest raw damage out of any bracelet in the game, and overall is very based. For the necklace, you have 2 options as well, either Contrast for the quality of life, or Power Cell if you want some extra damage. I personally use Contrast, but obviously the choice is up to you. Honestly, this build is genuinely very fun, and I suggest you give it a try if you haven't already. But yeah, that's about it for this video. I hope you enjoyed the montage and the guide. Let me know what you guys think in the comments, and thank you for watching.